So, what do you think then, Jason, that the racial issue gets has gotten so much attention? I mean, you did mention, I think that was a good point of it's maybe a sin that the world feels comfortable pointing out.
Oh yeah.
Um, but what do you think is kind of perpetuating it with among believers, especially because there are a lot of individuals in the church. I know you have several videos where you have critiqued what we would maybe define as woke preachers,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
within your video content. One of them being like Raphael Warnock, who's running for a U.S. Senate seat in Georgia, in your
Right
state.
here. Sure is.
So, I mean, maybe unpack a little bit of where do you think some of this started seeping into the pulpit, as well as why do you think there's this social pressure among Christians, and oftentimes it's especially among white Christians to talk about race?
Okay. So I'm gonna start backwards. So what I found out is when this whole thing popped off in 2020, a lot of people who are the less melanated were reaching out to me saying, "Hey, how are you doing? I'd like to sit down and talk with you," or "Hey, you mind having coffee with me?" And come to find out, a lot of them were feeling some kind of way because they've been minding their own business. You know, you're a man of less melanin. You probably married a wife of less melanin, and guess what? You probably have kids with less melanin or whatever like that. And they really weren't thinking about us. I'll just be honest with you. I joke about it all the time. My neighbor next door and my neighbor right here, they don't wake up in the morning saying, darn it, that Jason, he's a black guy and he lives next door to me. They don't care. They really don't. They really are doing their own business. But with the whole George Floyd thing and everything that popped off in 2020, people were able to quickly say, well, hey, Connor, hey, Mike, if you're not anti-racist, if you don't do these type of things, you are bad. I've had people say you're wrong because you married a white woman. Well, what else are they supposed to marry? Like, come on. Like, so am I bad because my wife is black? Like, what in the world is that? That doesn't even make sense. But I've heard people say that. And so part of it is I think is it's a guilt trip. And because I'm assuming this on you, so please feel free to let me know. You probably don't wake up in the morning worrying about the ethnicity of the guy that serves you your coffee at Starbucks or the guy at the gas station or anything of that nature. You're probably just doing life. However, they were able to quickly turn that I'm not really thinking about you into I don't care about you and I'm bad because oh man, I really don't pay attention to my black neighbor or my Indian coworker or whatever like that. Oh, I'm bad. Oh, I've got to do something. And what did they immediately do? They would say things like, "Well, I have a black friend." Oh my gosh, once they did that, it was off to the races because you were bad because you're now using your black friend as a shield for you. You're like, well, wait, no, I was raised around black people. That's even worse. Now you're gentrification. I mean, it was just an ongoing stream. So I think a lot of people a lot of white people were deluged by this and were beat over the head by this. So they almost felt like I gotta prove that I'm not racist because you can't prove a negative, by the way. So it's really hard to prove that you don't do something. So therefore, I got to prove it. So I got to go above and beyond. So I'm doing the work. I'm reading the books. I'm protesting. Look at my social media. I got all these. I follow all these people, and I put the black flag up and all this kind of stuff like that. So they had to prove it. So that's what I think happened to why there's so many people of less melanin who feel like they have to do this.